This is the F1 Ultra. It is a dual laser from xTool that combines both a fiber and a diode laser. There are a couple of accessories that go with this machine, and today we are going to talk all about this. This is the conveyor. I'm going to show you all the different types of projects and processing you can do with the conveyor, hopefully to help you figure out if this is an accessory you want for your machine. Hey there, I'm Sarah. You're watching Creative Ramblings. We talk a lot about lasers on this channel. If you are new to lasers or you have a specific question, consider subscribing. I probably have a video that can help you along the way. I recently reviewed the F1 Ultra. It is a dual laser with a fiber and a diode laser. If you want to learn more about this machine, take a look at that video. Today we are talking about the conveyor. This is a pretty great accessory that is an additional purchase for your F1 Ultra. This conveyor can help you do large projects and really fast batch processing. Like most xTool machines and accessories, this one is really easy to assemble. When you take it out of the box, you've got an instruction manual, a few accessory pieces, and then the conveyor itself. There are two fixing pieces. One attaches to the base of the laser, the other attaches to the base of the conveyor. And then when you want to use the conveyor, you just use these two screws to attach them together. It's really straightforward, and this is going to allow you to then take the conveyor off and just use the regular processing area anytime you need. It's fairly lightweight too, and it should be pretty easy to store. Now I have this set up on my favorite workbench. I have a couple of these workbenches. My S1 is on one, and now the F1 Ultra is on one as well. The conveyor fits perfectly, and I still have room on the end, so when the conveyor is moving, I can put a little container down there to catch whatever it is feeding off of the conveyor. So what this conveyor is going to do that other conveyors can't do, like the one for the P2 or the S1, the conveyor is going to work with the camera inside the F1 Ultra to do batch processing. And we're going to do a couple of projects to show you how this works, but there is very little effort on your part. So if you have one design that you want to put on 100 pieces of jewelry, you can design it once, put it on one tag, and it's going to just run the whole job for you. It's very hands-off. It allows you to do other work while this machine is working for you. Let's cover a couple different projects. We will get into batch processing, but you can also do really long projects on here. Let's start with just a pine board. This is a piece of scrap pine. I've got all kinds of stuff on here. I've got some material test arrays on here. We're gonna put this in the machine and we're gonna create a really long piece. I'm gonna start by placing the board with the good side up on the conveyor. I want to make sure that the red and the blue dot are on the wood. And then I'm going to use the little touch screen to raise or lower the laser so that the red and blue dot overlap. Then I'm just going to close the lid. I don't want to close it all the way because I need this board to move freely underneath it. And because it's not closed all the way, I'm going to make sure that I wear glasses. Over in xTool Creative Space, I want to make sure my F1 Ultra is connected. And then on mode over here, I'm going to use the conveyor large function. And then the first thing I'm going to do is auto measure and then refresh my screen so the camera will turn on. I'm using an SVG that has both scoring and engraving, and I'm just going to place it on the board. Now I did measure the board, so I know how long it is because I can really only see the part of the board that's under the camera. And keep in mind that little piece of gray on the left, we cannot work on that. We can only work on what's in the camera. I'm not defining my material here, but these are the settings I'm going to use. The two palm trees on either side are going to be scored at 50% power and 80 speed. And then I have some engraving in the middle. I'm setting the engraving at 80% power and 400 speed. With everything set to go, I can hit process and start here in XCS, then head over to the machine, hit the green button on the touch screen to start the process. The conveyor makes this so easy to do. It just moves back and forth wherever the laser needs to go. And I have a nice big sign. You could do big welcome porch signs, all kinds of stuff with this function. Next, let's do some batch processing on a whole bunch of these wood tags. I want to place the first one right under the 2 dots and then focus those 2 dots so they overlap. Then I can just lay a few more down in the main area where the camera can see them. And then we can head over to XCS. Here I have a new project and the mode we're using is Conveyor Batch. And I really like that this just walks me through everything. So the first thing I want to do is refresh the camera to show those wood tags. Now I want to frame out the material. So before doing this, I'm going to bring in an image. And I just have a little thank you for doing business with us tag here. This is an SVG, so I am going to unite it so it's a much simpler engrave. I'm going to size it appropriately for the one tag right in the middle. Then I want to frame the material. I've found that XCS does a good job of recognizing the material, but if I need to, I can play around with this a little bit. And then I can choose my settings. So I want to engrave this. I'm using the blue diode laser. And this is basswood, so I am just going to choose some typical basswood settings here. A power of 80 and a speed of 400 is going to give me kind of a light engraving. From here, it's time to process. You only need to put the design on one piece. XCS is going to walk you through the rest of it, so just follow the steps here. Right now, the camera is recognizing where all the different pieces are. Once I hit start, this is going to go pretty quickly. The laser is going to start engraving those wood tags. Now I can add more wood tags to the right because the conveyor is going to move from the right to the left. When these first 3 are done, the conveyor will automatically move over. And back in XCS, we can see that the software is recognizing the next set of tags, and it's going to adjust the image for each one. This process will continue until the conveyor moves and the camera no longer recognizes any pieces. These are great product tags to attach to whatever you're making. They went really quick with that diode laser. So now let's do the same thing using a metal dog tag and the fiber laser. So this is the same process as before. I've brought in an SVG. I'm going to combine it so it's an easy engrave. I'm going to set the process to engrave, and then I'm going to pick the material. And this time I'm going to do the material Easy Set library. This is a stainless steel dog tag. So it's going to give me the settings here. Then I need to change the mode to the conveyor batch function and follow the prompts. So we need to refresh and auto measure. And then I'm going to size my graphic appropriately. Want to make sure I turn it around and place it on that first one that is underneath the red and blue dot. And then from here, I really love that XCS just does the work for me. I'm leaving some room on the bottom so I could easily personalize these with a name and some medical information on the back. Now we frame out the material. Then we can go ahead and process. This process is as easy as it looks. I have not done a ton of these, but after I did my first batch, it was just so easy to repeat, and you're gonna have that same experience. Let's talk about pricing and how to add this onto your machine. If you already own the F1 Ultra, you can get the Conveyor separately. It's about $5.99 regular price without any sales going on. If you have not yet purchased your machine, and you think you're going to use the Conveyor, you should definitely consider a bundle. If you get the machine and buy the Conveyor right away, you're going to get it for right around $400, maybe even less, depending on what sale is going on. So if you think this is something you're going to do, buy it right away in that bundle. You're going to save some money. So as always, I like to talk about who I think this accessory is best for, because not everyone is going to use this. If you do a lot of batch processing, so you have a small business and you create a lot of the same item, this is going to be really good for you. You saw how quickly that went through and just processed the same design over and over again. As long as I'm with the laser and I can see what's going on, I can't leave it alone, I can sit at my desk and I can work on other things while that's processing. So it can be a huge time saver. If you want to do long projects, you can definitely work with this. You are limited by the width of the Conveyor, and actually just a little bit shorter than the actual width of the Conveyor. So keep in mind that you can do long projects, but not necessarily wide. If you are looking to do wide and long wood signs, you might want to consider the S1 with a Conveyor or something similar like that. So we covered the Conveyor for the F1 Ultra. I hope that gave you a good idea of what you're able to accomplish with this accessory and figure out if it's right for you. Be sure to take a look at my other F1 Ultra videos and my other laser videos. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to chat with you. And if you like what you see here, consider subscribing so you don't miss my next video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.